morning walk and I'm thinking about sex and more specifically how I just saw an amazing post from an incredible woman and friend of mine, Alyssa Caro, who I'll tag in this post, talking about, and she's a sexuality expert, and she talks about how she's sick and tired of hearing that men have a higher sex desire than women and that it's bollocks. And you know, we hear that and we know that because some of us women, you know, like we have desire and we want to have sex, but it's real that so often in relationships, a woman's desire is lower than a man's, or it feels like it's lower than a man's, or our desire to have sex. Like it happens in my relationship, it happens in so many relationships that I work with, and I work with a lot, is that the men want to have sex, it seems, more often. Anyway, what she talks about is so freaking good. She explains how men have a much higher spontaneous sexual desire. So I translate this by, you know, like the wind might change direction. And women have a much higher responsive sexual desire. I mean, I hadn't even heard of that, but it makes absolute sense, right? So when exposed to more like sexually stimulating and sexy material and experiences, women are more kind of up and ready for it. So what she suggests, and what I always say to my women as well, and to myself, is to keep that kind of sexuality going. It's up to women to feel sexy, be sexy, like access and feed your own sexuality and desire. And I know that the beautiful Saida Desolé will also agree with that, who has very generously created a process for the women doing my Love Coach program. It's an exclusive Saida Desolé process that everyone who's doing my Love Coach program will have access to, that helps us to access our connection to our own sensuality, which is amazing. Anyway, I know she agrees with this, that you know, desire is something for us to cultivate for ourselves, and as women are more responsive, our sexual desire is more responsive, when we're cultivating and being in that sexuality or in that desire in ourselves, then we're going to be more, just got slopped in the head, we're going to be more readily available to sexuality and to the responses from our partners. So it's partly up to us. Well, it's entirely up to us, really. But those of you in relationship who are working out with your partner, it's to understand also that, you know, if you want to have a greater sex life, if you've been together for a long time and you want to be having a greater sex life, women, you know, it's frustrating. So many women I know want to have sex and feel like that's the issue. It's like their men are up for it and the women kind of go, well, it's weird. I want to have sex, but I just don't feel like it. And often blame the men and say, well, he doesn't know how to turn me on. And there's an element of that to it, but what Alyssa was saying in her post that made me want to speak to you guys about it is that a great deal of it is up to us because our sexuality is a lot more responsive. The great thing she says is that once it heats up, it stays hot for a long time, and it's true, right? Which is where the old adage about foreplay comes from, that women require more foreplay. But that kind of foreplay isn't just in the bed with a tickle here and a slap there. It's about us all day, every day, being aware of our own sensuality, cultivating and stoking the fires of our desire. And then when it comes to intimacy with our partner, we're going to be more readily available. And in addition to that, it's knowing what turns you on. So in my marriage, we have discovered what it is that makes me available to that desire. One of those things is just about being away from the house. So going and staying somewhere overnight is, for me, it's just an absolute game changer. I turn into a completely different person and I'm available because I have no more responsibility. Far less responsibility. That's one of the things. Also having a beautiful space and being surrounded by beauty about what I wear. And my husband gets this now. And so he is able to help support that. Anyway, I've lost my dog, so I better end this video. And I'm just so excited by this information and this post from this gorgeous woman, and I wanted to share that with you. And I'll tag you in her post. I'll tag her in this post so you can check it out if you want to. And if you're interested in doing more work, remember we do have a new Love Coach program starting in just a few weeks. We have a few spots left. I think I've only got one spot left in the integration package, which is where you get private coaching with me. But there's been a few people who are super keen to join and want to have a chat with me. So I have opened up my books to have a quick 15-minute drop in with people if you wanted to have a chat with me and see what it's all about. Gotta go find my dog. Bye.